Welcome to another installment of Rich Friend, the elevated conversation brought to you by Tequila Avion. My name is Matthew Trammell. I'm joined by Mark Anthony Green. We made it. We survived. We're live from the bunker now, but there's some rations. And yeah, included among those is some awesome tequila. Today we're drinking Don Lemon, some Tequila Avion Reposado and sparkling lemon soda. So cheers, everybody. We made it.
This drink is easily the only cool thing associated with Don Lemon.
Yeah, or with Rich Friend, honestly.
No, I don't agree with that.
It's probably like the coolest thing in this room, honestly, right now. What's good, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, bro.
Yeah,
I'm good. I had a really it's been a crazy time.
Yeah,
it's been a crazy time.
How so, Mark Anthony?
Man, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
We could be a little forward thinking for this for Dave Chappelle hosting SNL. It's kind of all I can think about at the moment.
Yeah, that should be fun.
I mean, the crazy thing about him hosting SNL. Okay, so the opening monologue, crazy. But like, man, this is gonna be the first time Dave's done a skit.
Yeah.
Like, think about that
Yeah.
shit. Like, we're going to get, as long as like something doesn't like happen, the rapture doesn't happen, and I don't even think it'd take either one of us, so we'd still be here.
Yeah.
We are going to get a Dave Chappelle skit.
Well, he has to do Black Jeopardy. He invented it.
Wow.
Like he has to do Black Jeopardy, especially after the fucking brilliant the last one they did.
What's your favorite Chappelle skit?
I mean, it's like picking a child. Like, can you really? I think the farthest. I know Black People is up there.
Like
The game show is definitely up there.
I will say that's up there.
Yeah.
The racial draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
racial
classics.
draft.
It's like you can't even, you know what I mean? Like running them down is like
The player
impossible,
haters
you know?
ball.
Yeah, that's like kind of underrated. That's true. But yeah, man, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be absolutely nuts. And of course, the musical guest. It's gonna be the legendary Tribe Called Quest. And we have a show that I'm extremely excited for.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that in a minute.
Yeah. The guest is really special. You guys might know already, but yeah. I mean, I'm so excited to see those dudes back.
2016, man. I think the only thing that could save 2016 is Dave Chappelle doing skits.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like I saw this fucking. Did you hear about the boiler room fiasco with the police?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Life is definitely imitating art. Like, more and more by the day. Like
for the suburban mom at home, because we have so many suburban mother.
Yeah, huge
listeners.
Demo for us.
Yeah,
shout out to all you guys.
Yeah, hey y'all.
Cheers.
Hey Pam.
Pour up.
hey Kathy. Explain.
Yeah.
Explain
Basically,
the boiler room to them.
I mean, yeah, Boiler Room is like a concert series, like a party series or whatever, and they usually they sort of came up like live streaming all their events, which started out as like a kind of like novel idea, but then ended up, between like Facebook Live and like our obsessive filming of everything we do, like ended up being pretty brilliant,
Right.
So as like sort of like a victory lap, they did this like 2-day like weekend long retreat. I think it was in like Pennsylvania. It was in like some weird, or like the Poconos.
Yeah, it was on Poconos.
Yeah. And it just got crazy. The second day, security just went haywire. There was like all these crazy reports. Like,
what do the kids
people
look
were
like?
getting like. I mean, it's like ravers, you know what I mean? So it's like club kids, like like your girl Venus X was DJing.
Yeah,
like
she's
that's
like
what
one
I'm
of the
saying, like,
leaders of the movement. She's
like,
the shit. Shout out to Venus.
And I just
a goddess.
I was just like, it's like an alien invasion when like all of the fucking like Lower East Side and Bushwick descends on like some small farm town or wherever they were, or like some mountain town,
right? And
like these these badged dudes have never seen this before ever,
right.
Like they sort of like.
But I think it's pretty like admirable. Yeah. It's pretty admirable to belong to a culture and group of people that still scares the fuck out of people. That's dope.
That is true.
Venus and Co. Like, I take my hat off to you
Yeah.
Because I will be the first to say I just don't look threatening.
Yeah.
Like if
And it
me
takes
and my friends
dedication,
in our Saint Laurent boots and little jeans, like
Yeah.
no one's threatened by that.
Right,
Like we're
right.
listening to Sampha. There's nothing threatening about me and my friends. But y'all came down
Yeah.
and they acted like complete assholes.
Yeah.
And it's because they're threatened and
Yeah.
afraid, and that's
It's
kind
not
of
easy
awesome.
either.
Yeah.
Venus opened up. She did a couple stores because there's like there's no like rave wear stores in New York City. Like you can't get a fucking like
a fishnet crop top.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You can't get like a glow in the dark choker and like a pacifier like in any you know what I mean. Like I was on St. Mark's the other night.
A
and it was
phallic
like,
septum ring.
Yeah, you know, like it's like
those.
where do you even like? There's the supply has plummeted, so they are.
I know what I'm getting Trammell for Christmas. I'm about to bless you, dog.
Like, I don't know. It was also like how, like, I guess it's hard to not sort of. It's hard to like plan for that. It's impossible to plan for that, really. You know what I mean? But I just also love the idea of like a camping retreat, but just like with like a hard style fucking industrial trance music.
Right,
And like,
right.
probably, you know, a fair amount of like questionable substances or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so like the contrast was already probably a huge appeal of them throwing this.
You know?
I didn't see that shit coming though. That's crazy.
I kind of went camping on Sunday because I didn't leave my apartment.
That counts.
And I ordered Seamless 4 different times.
Hell yeah.
And I only got one of the orders because of the marathon.
Oh shit.
And I felt like it was like a higher power.
Yeah.
Being like, yo, dog.
Yeah, you're.
And I'm not even one of those people. Like I don't like whatever.
You did
I don't
the mannequin
give a fuck.
challenge like on your couch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like.
And so I'm sitting there and like they kept canceling the orders because you know the city was in gridlock.
Right.
And so, you know, I ended up, I don't know if it was because of guilt or whatever, I ended up working out last night.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
Do you work out off? Are you a gym rat?
I'm not a gym. I don't believe in that. I like to run and I jump rope. I do sit-ups, push-ups, and I play ball.
Cool.
But I like the idea of being in an equinox.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Not terrifying to me. It's just very corny.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to shit on people who, you know, love going to the gym.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's crazy because people have been saying that for the longest. Like it's all like there was this like Michael Musto story where he's talking about like in the I think like early 90s or whatever. He's like nightlife is dead. Yeah. Like the new club is the gym. Yeah, it's like that always happens. You know what I mean? Like this weird fitness, like cool fitness. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It fits. Like, it fits people's lifestyles.
But you know what, though? The weird thing about that Equinox story and about that is that it's not... Like, the club is recreational, is fun. You go in there to, you know, get laid, have a good time, dance, whatever. Mm-hmm. Equinox is like a cult. Yeah. And there's so much...
Soul Cycle, all that stuff.
All of that. Yeah, and there's such a... And you know, I'm not trying to belittle anybody that has insecurities. We all got insecurities. I got a million of them. You know, we could have an insecurity episode. I'll let them out.
That would be sick,
so I'll let the chopper fly with the insecurities.
That would be dope.
But I don't fuck with people and institutions that prey on people's insecurities. Yeah. And that's what, to me, though, like a lot of those places do.
That makes sense.
Is they make it, you know, so there's all these different tiers and all these, you know, there's always another room, as my friend Dan always says. Like, there's always another room. Yeah. And, like, that is fucked up to me. You know?
Nah, that makes sense. There's like, I mean, it's like being a part of something. It's like being a fucking ghetto gothic kid. It's like the same shit of like, oh, this is us and we know so much more than everyone else, you know? Not to be like, fuck you guys, but like what you're saying is true, you know? Like that's a huge, it's not just about like, oh, I want like a better body for the summer. Yeah. There's like a whole other, you know what I mean?
Do you work out?
Man, I was hoping you would ask that. I'm you know, I'm in quite the position to criticize people who go to the gym because I do not. I'm nah. Nah, I mean, not in the least bit. Nah, I probably should.
When was the last time you like went to the gym and worked out?
High school, without question.
High school?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, without question.
Respect?
Yeah.
Respect. I didn't mean to like, that's the first time I've ever stumped Trammell's.
Yeah, right.
I hit him with the workout question.
Was there any kind of physical activity that could count as nope?
Yeah, no. Like I went to Trammell, I was like, yo, what's the meaning of life? He has bars for me.
Yeah.
I asked him when was the last time you work out. He's like, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like 2.5 years ago.
And then people are always like, oh man, I pulled my knee. Oh man, like I did this. Oh man, da da da. And I'm like, see, that's why you shouldn't work out. What's wrong with you? Like, I'm fine.
Dog,
I have no injuries.
You're wild. Wait, this is the.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
This is the part of the podcast where I ask Trammell his age and he tells me 25 and rolls his eyes.
Mm-hmm. There we go. There we go. It's a learning process.
I'm telling you, G, the old, like, I hate to be that guy.
I know.
I hate to be that guy,
I know,
Trammell.
Uncle Marky. I know.
Listen,
Thank
man. You're welcome, bro.
No,
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Maybe we should do a rich friend run. Maybe we should do that. That could be cool.
Yeah, I'm 26 miles.
Yeah.
Just make that bitch a marathon, a rich friend marathon.
Did you hear about the Harvard soccer team?
You were telling me
crazy. There was this speaking of like the absurdities of athletics. Like the Harvard men's team basically had this really like weird kind of like really fucked up tradition of like ranking all the incoming women's soccer players, and made this
like
huge,
by their looks.
Yeah, and had like a burn book of like, this is what we think about this, like, oh, and this girl, and like blah 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 blah. And like Harvard found out, and they were like, oh, word, okay, yeah, season's over.
As dope as I think Harvard is for doing that, however, the state schools and like Harvard is not who I'm necessarily worried about. Like, there is chauvinism and fucked up opinions toward women and oppression everywhere. However, I will feel much better when like the states, like that shit happens, especially in the schools. Like Harvard is,
well, they're the city on the hill, you know. They're like the shining example. So.
I guess I don't know. I don't think that they're actually the shining example, and maybe that's my point. It would be one thing if it were like Notre Dame,
right,
or you know, the University of Oklahoma, because it's about commerce,
right.
It's like if you want to change something, show people to fuck up the money,
that's
right. And it doesn't need to be soccer; it needs to be football. It needs to be like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why it seemed so. It seemed like reaction was obviously necessary, and like something was necessary, but canceling the season seemed so just odd. Not wrong, but like, whoa, like who is.
Also,
you know what I mean? Like, what's the lesson? What happens there? You know, I don't know.
What if you didn't participate in that, and that's how you got your scholarship?
And then you're on the team, and then you know what I mean.
Like, you're just some poor kid, and now you get to go to Harvard to play a game, and then you find out that they out here ranking women, and now you no longer
like,
get
what
scholarship.
The fuck? Y'all didn't even let me come to that fucking
right. I didn't even get to come to the hang.
You guys were ranking women. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
meanwhile,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was nuts. It was like, and then on the one hand, I feel like even if we like. You know, you have to imagine like those women, those young women like showed up to play just like everybody else. You know, they're athletes just like everybody else. So it's like they shouldn't be subjected to that shit, especially like in a way where it seemed like it was very institutionalized. Like, oh yeah, this is what we do.
This is like a tradition.
Yeah, you know
but dog, how many times have we seen how many times have we seen like fraternities, sororities?
Absolutely.
You see that they're chanting
both ways,
singing racist songs, or they don't like get rid of Greek life.
Yeah, I didn't know about that part.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, the terrible things that happen to women with fraternities and sororities.
Right.
That is a whole fucked up crazy thing. But I'm saying like I want schools to crack down on all of that.
Yeah, it's hard.
To me, this was just a very specific and kind of strange thing where they threw the book at it. I definitely think they should have done exactly what they did, but it doesn't feel like a win. Like
Patagonia is another one that's really good with that. Like they, as if they are like needed another reason to just be like a dope ass brand. But they like have like one of the best sort of like practices or like policies in order as far as like maternity leave and like just things that like, you know what I mean? They have like 100% like retention rate of moms that are like, you know, employed or whatever, and like they have like daycares like on the like campus of the company or whatever, and like school buses that like shuttle kids, and like a lot of stuff where they're like they've like taken like this holistic approach to employment of like families, basically. People are super loyal to the company because of that, you know. So it's like it goes to show like it's not that hard if you actually give it thought, you know. If you're trying to be like preventative instead of reactionary, you know, you can like create those environments that people feel better about being in than they want to be in, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what's a celebrity that you kind of unjustifiably dislike? I won't use the word hate because that's strong, but like you just kind of don't have like a really solid reason. Like obviously you could dislike Trump, but like who is somebody that you kind of don't have a real reason to dislike? You just dislike him.
Lil Yachty.
Wow.
I know that's lame.
I did not fucking expect that.
I know that's corny.
He's
just such a troll to me. He's just so like, come on, man. He's just like the lowest hanging fruit possible. You know what I mean? Like scraping dust off the ground. Like the most just like, word, yeah, this is okay. I'll do this too. Oh, all right, yeah, like you know what I mean?
You don't think there's any originality?
Dog.
I'm asking not a leading question.
You can feel me.
Yeah, I feel it. I like this. I like this.
You know, but I've mentally gotten to, if I do meditate, this is my process of like Zen, or like Buddhism or whatever, or just like let it be like water. Is like knowing that like the shit that you hate in that respect like is likely gonna just dissipate anyway.
Right.
But and just not letting it like affect you. But I'm just like, man, like McConan fucking sat in his crib like on house arrest for however many like months or years and like made up a whole style by himself, recorded like hundreds of songs by himself that nobody heard, like damn near like went crazy, like came out of that, made hits,
right?
Connect Metro and fucking Sunny Digital and FKI and like all and like Southside and all the best producers in Atlanta like found this and were like, oh my god, this is the most original shit that I've ever heard. I'm gonna like we have to spruce this up and make it even crazier. Blew up, and then.
But why are you comparing
some kid
him to
dyes his
McConan?
hair red and just takes his... Have you heard Minnesota?
Right, you're saying that this...
Yeah, man, it's the same. It's the same thing.
The sauce.
It's the same
sauce.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like when I first heard Yachty on... I first heard him on OVO, and it was... I should have known that there was... I should have known.
Oh, shit.
But
canon.
I heard Minnesota, and I was like, okay, all right, like the kids are doing McConan style stuff now, like that's cool. You know what I mean? And then, you know, he just proved to be much more media savvy and was able to just sort of like catapult himself by virtue of like this whole everything but original ideas and original music, you know, which is always just like a thorn in my side.
Yikes. I love there was this interview with Yachty where he was like, they asked him about, you know, they love, hip-hop journalists love to ask him about old school hip-hop because they know he's going to, I don't know why they keep asking this motherfucker the same questions over and over again. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, I don't know, I think he asked him about Biggie. He was like, I didn't really listen to Biggie. I didn't grow up listening to Biggie, but I lived through Drake. And I fucked with that.
But you know what else?
You know why I fucked with that?
Go ahead.
Because it was honest. Like, okay, dislike it if you want to dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's saying, that the fact that Soulja Boy is in his top 5 rappers of all time, like that makes him less of a credible rapper in a lot of people's eyes. But you know what? He's like 12. He's not really 12. He's like, what is he, 19 or something? Lil Yachty's super young. Like, oh, yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Drake is who he lived through. That's fair.
So he didn't live through Biggie, he lived through Drake, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't live through Nautica then either, right? Nautica, Biggie wore Nautica, right? Nautica was a mid-90s
There are many
brand,
entries
right?
into Nautica.
Well, this is my point, right? Is that this kid is so savvy that he knows, the right answer to the old school rapper question is, I don't know Biggie songs, and then everyone talks about it, and now I'm more famous because I'm Lil Yachty.
So you think
but he's full
calculating
of shit because he raps about Aaliyah and fucking brick phones and Nautica and a million other things that were popular way before he was born. I feel like that whole generation of youth is like obsessively nostalgic, and all they want to do is like wear Tommy and like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
don't you think
he knows exactly he knows all that shit, but he just also knows, okay, I can troll my way into infamy, like, which has possibly been like the biggest lesson in 2016. You know what I mean? Like
that is literally the biggest lesson in 2016.
And it works, and it continues to work. You know what I mean? It's like, how could you in the same breath be like, oh yeah, like Nautica, like my whole fucking whatever, like clothing line shit is Nautica because Nautica
Trammell,
is sick.
Isn't that just because it has a boat on it?
You know, no. But this is my point: is that
Lil Boat. It has a boat on it,
right?
So that I don't think it's because of Biggie.
No, what my point is that you can't claim generational ignorance if you're cherry picking references.
Right. Okay.
You can't be like, oh, like, what, Biggie? Like, what? That's whack. It's like, yo, dog, like, you're a rapper. And this is not even some age stuff. Like, Anderson .Paak even said it. He was like, yo, it's not cool to not know shit about the thing that you're doing. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, when did that become poppin' to not know anything about the culture that you're in? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know shit about podcasts.
It's so bad. Yeah, here we are. You know, but I'm saying, no, I don't know. If you ask me, what celebrity I secretly hate.
I'm not going.
You know? I don't know if he qualifies as a celebrity yet.
He does. He's famous.
Yeah.
That's dope.
His hair is famous.
His hair is famous.
I don't know if
he's famous.
Who's your... I'm sure you have a better answer than that.
I don't think it's a better answer. I don't think it's a better answer, but I really despise Michael Strahan. I like Michael Strahan and his lisp.
He didn't choose the lisp though. He can't. You know, it's not like red hair.
He's got so much money. He could have fixed his lisp. But you know what? You know what the lisp is indicative of though?
What is it?
He's kind of buffoonish. Is it?
What is it? Kelly and Michael? Is that your problem?
Yeah, but he's not on it no more.
No. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, he's not on that no more. But the cats, when I went and got my hair cut today, and they always watch the show. So for like the last...
What barbershop do you go to?
Yo, it's crazy. They're all West Indians, but they love... It's so weird. It's
Wait, Kelly Ripa? Does that...
Yeah, Kelly Ripa,
Holy
whatever
shit.
fucking name. So I've been watching that show like once every 2 weeks since I moved to New York.
So amazing.
And I always go in the morning.
You need to pass that contact ASAP.
Dog,
I need to just at least walk through this barbershop. That's fucking incredible.
It's so weird. But listen, watch Michael Strahan. Now I think he's on like Today Show or something like shit like that. But like Michael Strahan, he's always dancing. He's always like the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't make you funny.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle is funny.
Yeah.
He tells a joke. He uses wit and intelligence and all those things like to say something funny, to be something funny. He can use physicality to be funny, but he's not the butt of the joke constantly. This motherfucker's always the butt of the joke. And I think the lisp is petty and it's whack to make fun of somebody for something like that. But you
think even if he's not aware, it's a part of what people see.
Yes,
as like this
it's a part. It's
a
a part, and I don't mean to make it just racial, but it's a part of what makes him so. What's the coded word? So easy to digest and like democratic.
Yeah,
that's what makes him not threatening to the woman in Dallas. You know, that's watching her television in the morning, because daytime television, you know, they have like one set demographic that they think this is what daytime television is.
These are the only people that wake up early in the morning.
Like, and so I just, or that aren't at work. Unfortunately, like, that's what they think, that aren't at work. And so to me, I'm like, yo, here's a guy who's made a shitload of money, who, you know, for the most part, especially in New York, like, it's crazy to say something bad about him because everybody loves him. He's always on your Taxi TV. And every time I see him, I get
that's really the only time I
upset.
see him is Taxi TV, definitely.
And even that, Taxi TV is the worst place to be.
Yeah,
He's tried to come on the show 7 times, and I've said no every time. That also is not true. But if he ever asked.
That's mad funny.
Actually, I would love for him to come on the show.
Yeah, that would be good.
It would be like when Michael Scott... this is an office. I don't give a fuck. I'm making a joke. It'd be like when Michael Scott gave Toby his review in the office, the HR director he hated. And he was like, yo, what gives you the right? Who do you think you are? That shit's funny. Yeah, I don't fuck with that dude. Man.
Yeah, that's real. I don't know how he hurt you, but well,
all I'm saying, he didn't make broccoli, and broccoli's a jam.
Yeah.
Broccoli's a jam, bro.
Columbine, 1990 what? 1999? That's the reason everyone loves that song. How old were you, Yachty? Fucking 5? How do you know about Columbine? You don't know about... You know what I mean? That's what I say. That's his whole thing is this fucking selective nostalgia. So you can't, you know? I'm sorry. You opened it back up. You opened the wound again.
I'm mad,
The whole
Trammell.
point of that song is Columbine. That's the whole fucking song, right?
No.
Yes, it is. I'm saying as far as its appeal, the reason that it took off. If you test my gang, we're going to turn this shit to Columbine. That's the fucking face of the whole song. It's not the chorus. All it takes is one well-timed
culturally
thing to just like shoot something out front, you know? And I'm just like, you play both sides in this like really fucking just like calculated, like transparent way.
Right.
you know, and people are too just down for whatever to like call you out on it, you know?
You know what? Something that we both can agree on was amazing.
What?
And is amazing.
What?
Did you see that penguin fight video?
Yes, I did.
You know, what I was thinking the whole time, and I always think this, and I'm like a National Geographic like fan.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck do you know? How do you get that footage? Like, who's camped out and spending that much time with penguins?
That's what they do.
You just spend all your time with penguins. And you're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
That's Joseph's penguin. He's fucking Joseph's penguin.
I mean, the narratives are like, that is where it's like, I guess you have to be a fucking zoologist or something, but like...
How did he know, bro?
Right. Like, how did you
know
that
penguin was creeping?
Yeah.
Do you know how much time you have to spend with penguins?
I mean, they probably just as easily could have just like cut that footage up in a way and made...
No, believe in something, Trammell. No, fuck that. No.
Like
We're not doing that. Unplug his mic. Tequila Avion, unplug this motherfucker's mic. Believe in something, Trammell.
Did you watch Planet Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like... You know, in the extras, if you're really down with Planet Earth, you know that in the extras, as the credits roll, they do the behind the scenes where they're like, oh yeah, like the team hiked up 3,000 miles up this mountain and camped out for 2 months to get this one shot of this like whatever, and like they really
of this bird yawning.
Yeah, like they really lived that. Like Planet Earth is coming back too.
I saw that.
Who would be a good
narrator?
Yeah, man. Who would be? Yeah.
I always thought it would be amazing if you could get like ODB, like before he passed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Like somebody whose voice is like kind of like, yo, this is bananas.
Yeah.
But I want the narrators. The great thing, first of all, Morgan Freeman, God level, but they don't react like we react when we watch it. Mm-hmm. Like he was super calm in narrating the penguin fight, but I wanted him to be like, "Oh shit!" Like, damn, she chose the. You know what I mean? Like,
you know who I think would be an excellent, like, not even in a funny way, an excellent narrator for Planet Earth?
Who?
Drake. I think Drake would be amazing.
You know what?
At narrating Planet Earth.
I'm not doing this.
I think he would be fucking incredible. He would be so poised.
Where are we at with unplugging Trammell?
I'm serious. That would
Where are we at with unplugging?
It would be huge for him. It would be huge for Planet Earth. He would be so like, you know what I mean? He would be so fucking in tune. You talk about somebody being able to read the penguin's emotions and like the dynamics of what's going on. He would be fucking. That's like a legit like real idea.
He's like, I've been there before.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that would be fucking amazing. I think he would be awesome.
Do like a little.
Oh come on! Let's not even talk about the fucking like syncs that are possible. The licensing opportunities.
Marvin's Igloo.
Come on, exactly. What do you mean? Like views from Antarctica? Like come on. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
That would be fucking amazing. Man. Holy shit.
Trammell, you know what the best is?
Nah, man.
You wanna know what the fucking best is?
Yeah, I do.
Apologies. Apologies are the best. Like, they're one of the few things that only humans can do. I mean, if you think about it, like, most mammals can eat, drink, sleep, play, show affection, show hate, show fear, but they can't apologize.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, after those penguins brutally slapped the shit out of each other, they didn't, like, touch flippers and say, my bad, penguin. And the floozy penguin that caused the whole ruckus, she didn't apologize for cheating on her bae and getting him beat up and put on World Star Hip Hop. Apologizing just isn't about making the other person feel better after you wrong them. And it isn't just about alleviating guilt. It's a declaration of humanity. Flawed, malleable humanity. I'm human, and because I'm human, I can make any choice. And on that day, at that time, I made the wrong choice. My bad. And that's awesome. One of the greatest apologies in recent memory took place this week in a little magazine called The New Yorker. You ever heard of it, Trammell?
Oh, yes.
Glenn Beck, right-wing nut job, who once said Obama hated all white people, who also said that he was thinking about killing Michael Moore, who also said, and I quote, all the Katrina victims we're seeing on TV are scumbags. That guy admitted that he was wrong, at least about a few things. He said, I did a lot of freaking out about Obama, but Obama made me a better man. He even went on to further admit that he stands with the Black Lives Matter movement, saying, and I quote, there are a few unique things about the African American experience that I cannot relate to, and I had to listen to them. Wow. I'm not saying that you have to accept his apology or that it's even the greatest apology in the history of apologies, but I damn sure respect him for apologizing and for admitting his humanity. for admitting that on that day, at that time, he made the wrong choice. In an internet age where everything we say is marbleized and cemented for eternity, it's nice to admit a flaw, to admit your humanity. So, inspired by his actions, I'm going to apologize for some shit that I did. Ashley, I'm sorry for making fun of the way you chew and saying you sound like Macy Gray. Adam, I'm sorry for taking screenshots of you in a leopard leotard and texting it to some friends and some family and just a few random people whose numbers are in my phone. And Warren, I'm super duper sorry about almost killing you 2 Art Basels ago. But in my defense, your lungs were lazy and weak before we met. You've had asthma your whole life, so this is kind of on you. Friends, on those days, at those times, I made the wrong choice, and for that, I apologize. And you know what, Trammell? I feel so good after that because apologizing is the best.
You should feel good, man.
It's a weight off, a boulder off my chest.
No, it takes a big person, man. But you know what the worst is?
Nah, what's the worst?
Like, absolutely, like, unanimously, universally the worst?
No, what's the worst?
Shrinkage is the worst.
What kind of
Clothing shrinkage.
Oh, okay.
It's the most sinister piece of owning clothes. Sometimes a thing you were trying to make better becomes markedly worse directly because of your efforts. One of the worst feelings is pulling your favorite shirt out of a fresh pile of laundry, letting it fall open, and just knowing that something is terribly, terribly wrong. A sleeve doesn't hang how it used to. A collar looks an inch too snug. Something has changed, and there's no going back. Or maybe there is. As you could probably guess, I had a shirt shrink over the weekend. It was devastating. I didn't know who to blame. The drop-off laundry service? The good folks at APC? My gut? No, you never blame the gut. In fact, the gut told me that deep down I knew it was my fault. My shirt didn't deserve this fate, so I looked up de-shrinking methods, and they almost all seemed too sus to be true. Soak your shirt in hair conditioner and stretch. Soak your shirt in vinegar and stretch. Sit in a tub filled with lukewarm water with your jeans on and think loose thoughts. What a price to pay. Even the concept of pre-shrunk fabrics feels cruel. We ruined the shirt before we sold it to you, so it's all good. No, it's all bad. In fact, it's worse than bad. It's the fucking worst.
Yo, I agree. That shit is awful.
Terrible.
So, Trammell called me and goes, I've got the most perfect guest for the show.
I'm so excited for this, guys.
He found him. Honestly, it's the best thing Trammell has ever done on this fucking podcast. And I just cannot be more excited.
Man.
Trammell, tell the people who we got sitting here with us tonight.
We're joined by a true legend. I was watching, as you guys may know, Tribe Called Quest is putting out another album this week. And I was watching a bunch of their old
Drops
videos.
Today?
I think it might be today. Yeah. I think it might be today. So we're joined today by Jim Swafield. He's a video director with probably the craziest IMDb page you've ever seen. He's
very rare.
The director behind some of the most classic Tribe Called Quest videos, which, in my personal opinion, are among the most underrated music videos. Period.
True. Name a few of them.
I mean, Can I Kick It? God, you can let the people know yourself too, but yeah.
Can I Kick It?
Mm-hmm.
Check the Rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz Bugging Out.
As in,
scenario.
As in, the fucking eye popping out, shit, these are iconic images that have, obviously it goes without saying, I'm a huge Tribe fan. They're the true Black Beatles to me.
Right. See, that's funny because you're a huge Tribe fan. I'm a huge R. Kelly fan.
Okay.
And our guy also directed Trapped in the Closet.
Right. As if that wasn't enough.
Right. The Tribe classics.
Right.
Which, first of all, man, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, seriously.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
Can we get you a drink?
Sure.
You need anything?
Yeah, man. We're drinking Don Lemons right now. It's pretty awesome. I'm glad to pour you up one. And yeah, man, you can thank the good folks at Tequila Avion for these solid cocktails.
All right.
But yeah,
Where are you from?
Where am I from?
Yeah.
I grew up outside Boston.
So how do you link up with Q-Tip?
How the hell?
Yeah, what?
I moved to New York back in 81 and started working in production and that sort of thing. And
was that always the plan? Were you I want to get out there to New York and like do. Film.
Yeah. I think I had an interest in filmmaking and that sort of thing, and for whatever reason gravitated down here, and then worked on a bunch of different things, and then I guess fast forward to 91, I had met a woman at Jive, Ann Carley, who was head of artist development, and it came time to do the final single off the first Tribe album, Can I Kick It? And I met his management, and we met the group, and things seemed together. So
How old were you then?
how old was I then? I was like 30.
Can I say, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
When Trammell called me,
Yeah.
he's like, "Yo, I found this guy. He directed the Can I Kick It music video."
Yeah.
I expected like a real earthy looking black dude. Like I expected a guy who's like Q-Tip, but a music director.
Right.
And the people in podcast land can't see this, but that's not really your vibe.
No, which is interesting because once I had done the Tribe, that series of Tribe videos, a lot of different hip hop artists wanted to work with the guy who did the Tribe videos.
Right. That's what I'm assuming.
And it was always like I would get the job and show up, and they go, "Wait a minute, you're him."
Yeah.
So, but generally, I found if you just stayed focused on trying to learn what was their essence and try and contribute to that.
It's interesting because I feel like music videos are so important now, right? They went through this weird period of like kind of being whatever, they weren't on TV and then they were online, and now it's like they're right back at the forefront almost. And like we think about directors now as like kids with cameras. You know what I mean? But in that era when people were still huge record label artists, all that stuff was probably a lot more like formalized, or that whole process of like connecting with an artist. I mean, you say you were 30 when you made those videos, and like there's kids that are like 22 now, they just sort of like do it on their own. A lot of people say that's awesome, but I have to imagine in that era, like there were differences that probably made it easier to make these sort of like more ambitious or iconic projects that we see. You know what I mean? Like what was it like working in the field at that time? Like, how were you navigating it?
It was different because not every man was making stuff with their mobile device.
Right.
It was much more of a process in terms of, and there were a lot of barriers to entry because to make a video you had to shoot film and you had to get it transferred. You couldn't just go. Basically now everyone can make something.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
The way it is now?
Yeah, that
I
everyone
think it's good. I mean, from a production's become democratized, and it's a completely, not only the production but the distribution.
Right.
Now someone conceivably doesn't even need a label; they can just make something and put it out. You know. But that being said, the level of the production value, it's funny because I was looking at some old Tribe stuff and thinking about it, and even the audio, the way they produced it. Everything was so much more complicated.
Yeah, it was like alternate versions of songs for the videos.
But the tools, just like editing any of those videos was like Scenario or something was very complex, but you could do on a laptop.
You're just going to drop that like that, real casual? Editing Scenario?
No, I mean,
it was legendary.
It was like 35 layers or something back then, which was crazy. So
right.
But I mean, you made a good point in that I think because there were barriers to entry back then.
So like someone had to have seen your work and been like, we want to take some of this album budget and give it to you to make. But in keeping with your point,
back then, videos like Tribe Called Quest videos compared to other huge like pop artists were like low budget videos.
Right.
So like on all those videos, we sort of, some of them were shot with a Bolex, and we'd just meet up and we'd shoot a little bit and then look at it and get to, go out to Queens and shoot a little bit more. Or, they were sort of patched together. And in fact, those early hip hop videos were probably
like
similar to the way people make stuff now.
Right.
I mean, they weren't Janet Jackson videos.
Absolutely.
And they weren't.
Yeah.
There were no spaceships.
That's what's sort of crazy about watching them now, is that you can sort of see, you can almost see the process in it in a way. Like you can see like, oh, they're sort of like in a studio and they like built these props and they are like throwing around the dot on the eye, or they're like in front of this blue wall and like cutting between like different colored like shirts and stuff like, you know what I mean? You can like see it in a way where it's like, now we have these tools so we know how it happens, but it's still just
and I mean, in videos now often are much simpler than they were in the golden age of videos.
Right. What was Tribe like back in the day?
They were really cool. I mean, they were really. We would go into a video, and usually they'd have a couple ideas they wanted to explore in that video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I'd just throw some stuff out, and a number of those videos we made, we didn't just have a one shoot day. We'd shoot and we'd mess around with it and shoot a little bit more, that sort of thing. But they were, I mean, I think it was, you know, their personality allowed, I think they were open-minded enough.
Yeah.
If I came in and said some stuff that they thought was funny or cool or whatever, that they were willing to trust that.
Do you remember any like specific sort of instances like that where like something that you brought up or that you had sort of thought about that they were like, oh, that's cool, or like, you know?
Yeah, like I mean, we can go through the different videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, like for instance on Can I Kick It, which was the first one, which is the last video off the first album, because I did all the videos on Low End Theory, but I also did the last video before Low End Theory, which kind of to me is like a transition video from the earlier videos where they're like their style. I know Q-Tip, they said they wanted to wear in the exterior part, they wanted to be more street, and they wanted to wear like hoodies. Okay. Yeah. And I think they were transitioning out of like the bohemian thing.
Yep.
And
the fits in that video are insane for the record.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But there's still some of that stuff in the studio part. But the other thing, in addition to the hood, they wanted to wear hood. They wanted to be called the Hoods. They wanted to all wear Champion sweatshirts. Jerobi and Ali wore other patterned hoods, but the guys from De La Soul and they were in. That's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
The other thing that Tip wanted to do was he said, I want to be in a studio and have an it. And I said, what?
Yeah.
He goes, like an it, an I and a T.
Yeah.
You know? So to kick, you know, the kick.
Right.
And that I think that was inspired maybe from that there was a Bobby Brown video, Every Little Step or something. It was like 1988 that it was a big high budget video with, you know, a beautifully designed, like every little step you take or something, a big sound stage.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to sort of like reference that,
right.
but have it be stupid and just ridiculous because it's an it.
So what gets you in front of Q-Tip?
I made a lot of, I first I was like production assistant on commercials, and then I started editing. I was part of a public access to get access to like a video camera, like public access TV in Manhattan. And then I started assistant directing on videos for other directors, like decent artists. Then I started editing. I did like like Let Love Rule by Lenny Kravitz and stuff like that. And
in the like the MTV anthology, like the oral history, there's like a huge part of what was going on when music videos got super integral to like an artist promotion or whatever. Like you would be on MTV and then your album would sell 10 million copies or whatever, and if you weren't, that was like make or break, you know. Was the fact that like directors didn't really get any credit besides the little like title card that pops up when the video starts. That's where you see your name, but you don't go on stage at the VMAs, or you don't, you know what I mean? Like that was just something that a lot of directors then talked about, who then went on to be sort of huge in like film or whatever. Like, did you sort of encounter that in any way? Or I feel like you've maintained like a pretty low profile overall.
Yeah.
Was that something that was in the air at that time that you remember, like working in the field?
Well, I think at least in the MTV era, that little name in the corner was something.
Right,
like on Vivo or something.
True. Yeah,
it's often never there.
Yeah.
Though that's why a lot of directors put their names into the titles of the actual picture.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's a branding thing.
Yeah.
If I directed the Can I Kick It music video, my shit would be like every 12 seconds. Mark Anthony Gray.
Right.
Can I Kick It? Mark Anthony Gray.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd be in it.
Well, I got some. I was digging through the archives, and I found a bunch of stuff from Check the Rhyme, that's never been seen that I was going to put up today.
Right.
On my Instagram.
Oh, that would be so
So
sick.
you got to check. What's your Instagram so people
It's
can
just
check
Jim Swaffield.
Nice. Yeah.
JimSwafield.
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff. Like that video, that's probably my favorite video.
Please. Yeah, indulge us. Yeah.
Just for a number of reasons. One, the song is like the structure of the song, the way it goes back and forth between Q-Tip and Fife. The one begins it and sets the other guy up, and he does the verse.
Right.
Then there's the chorus. The next guy begins it. It's so symmetrical and beautiful. And it's funny too, because that video, which at the time in 1991, they're talking about back in the day when they were like little kids.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
in a way that it's like an evergreen video, because it's almost like back in the day when they were Tribe Called Quest.
Was there like any specific, like as far as like the concepts or the visuals that came behind it, like what, you know what I mean? Like
on that one, the main the thing they definitely wanted to do was do a live performance,
right,
on the roof of this dry cleaner, in St. Albans, which is called Nuclear Clean, New NU-clear cleaners, but it's like nuclear.
Yeah.
Like and I remember Q-Tip saying in his voice, "Yeah, we just want to perform on nuclear cleaners." And I'm going like, "What?"
Yeah.
But then we went out there and saw it. But so we try to do stuff. I mean, a lot of, aside from the performance, which was in black and white, we did just shots of them around the neighborhood because it was about their neighborhood.
And you guys brought all the. What did it take to wrangle those massive crowds that we see in so many?
That
music
wasn't
videos
wrangled.
from that,
We just set the thing up, and those people just
came. Right. Yeah. So they just go up there and like turn the sound on, and then like the whole hood just comes out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And but all the other stuff, most of it was shot against a green screen, which we set up in St. Albans Park, like a piece of linoleum painted green against a basketball fence. And it was like July. It was like 100 and. It was a really hot week. It was like 108 or 104 or something. And so we just covered performance of the track that way. And then we went around with a Bolex and just shot little background plates of, there's Fife's grandmother's house and Tip's house and just the different streets and stuff, and from different angles. And we sort of jump cut it. Sometimes the backgrounds like pop to the beat. While they don't change, sometimes they change. So there's, and once again, doing that, like, we'd have like 3 or 4 video tape machines running at the same time in a switcher and just be drumming the cuts. Like, it wasn't cut, it was like drummed.
Crazy.
That stuff.
Yeah.
And then there were these little Polaroid animations where you just took pictures with a Polaroid of them and played them, changed the Polaroids and placed them in another location there. But the reason I brought up the Polaroids was a cool thing about those is, and I still have them, is that unlike a digital media, which is basically you can replicate it, and those little artifacts were the things that were there the day we shot them.
Right.
So they're pretty precious little things.
Right, like a sentimental value to them.
Right.
Yeah, because they're the actual thing.
And you were kind enough to bring a few for us to keep here today, so we just want to thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna
for that, my guy.
Sign them and hand them out.
Yeah, my man JS. Thank you.
I mean, it's wild to think that like to do cool things, you had to be so creative, like you said, about the process of about how we even gonna make this look the way that we want it to look. There's so much more sort of thought that has to go into.
And it was sort of, I mean, they were all sort of random too. We were just experimenting, and some stuff didn't work, and some worked. And, but they were great to work with because they were, I was kind of naive and I would just throw stuff out. I mean, they were the perfect like hip hop group to work with when you hadn't worked with tons of hip hop groups yet, because like they were just experimenting and exploring and open to stuff. I mean, if they thought something was corny or crazy, they'd say, but
give us one idea you came to them and thought you had like the idea, and then they were like, "Nah, dog, this isn't it."
All right, the bugging out.
You have this was in your. I could tell like this was. You felt this. Tell us. Hit us.
No. Well, on that was jazz bugging out. that video, because Bugging Out was the flip side of the
it
jazz
comes
single.
in and yeah, right.
And one idea I went to them with was, guys, instead of devoting 3.5 minutes to one song, where, you know, at a point you've gotten the point of the song, why don't we like hit them with the B-side, you know, 3/4 of the way through. And they were into that. And then that was October 91. It was October, so I was like in a Woolworths or something and saw these plastic like zombie eyes. So and I bought some of them, and I went and I remembered saying, "Would you guys be willing to wear these in the videos?"
Yeah.
No, and actually I brought that up because they were cool about it.
Yeah,
They didn't say, "What the fuck are you know?"
That ended up being like you know what I mean? Like that's one of the most memorable images from that video, definitely.
Right. And I remember I opened up the little plastic bag, and Fife just took 2 and stuck them in his stuck them in his eye and looked over at Tip, and he was like wow, man, like
you're bugging out, definitely.
Yeah.
Like,
So, and we actually shot the first. I have some pictures. We shot Fife's first take against this building. It was like a brick wall in Dumbo or something, where we had shot jazz, and it didn't seem to pop as much. So we drove around and ended up in like Long Island City, and we found that corrugated fence. I mean, this is like back in the day when you didn't have art direction. You just you're guerrilla.
Right.
But they were willing to like get in a car and just drive around and jump. Let's wait.
Yeah, I don't think Drake would do that with you.
No, exactly. Like,
right?
We would just stop and go, you know, let's shoot here.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a beautiful backdrop. It was all done.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think helped with Bugging Out was we, you know, I wanted it to be really abrupt when Fife began it, you know. So I wanted to cut into it without even that. There's like a acoustic bass, Ron Carter bass that precedes it, to just like eliminate that. So when he just says, there's a little interlude where he says, "Check this out," and it goes boom, and it's right in your face, you know, from black and white into color. So I think that helped amplify the. I mean, the track's amazing, but I think that helped.
That's
amplify.
I mean, that snare, like the way that he even comes in is already like so explosive in that way, you know?
Yeah.
And, like the video just captures that exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine they liked working with you a lot. You did a lot of their videos. Like they came at, you know what I mean? Like, did you sort of keep in touch with them as things went on, or did you like maintain a relationship with them?
I kept in touch. I kept in touch with Tip a little bit.
Yeah.
There were some like solo, you know, several years later, there were some solo things he was thinking of doing that, you know, I went out and saw him once, and we worked through some, like, we were talking about doing like an interactive thing, and but you know, but then that album would get pushed and things sort of, you know, time goes by.
I always feel like when groups break up, a lot of times the solo acts, they kind of like divorce themselves completely from the team in any realm that made the thing before, like as the group. So if you were, you know, Tribe's director of choice,
right,
Q-Tip would be like, if I make this video, it's gonna feel like a Tribe video.
Right.
If I'm a solo artist, I got to go find something new or whatever.
I think there's some credence in that. I mean, they also were still to get like Midnight Marauder. They were together doing videos with other people.
Right.
You know, I think they liked to have each like era or each project have its own feel.
Yeah.
Just and sort of to ensure to help push that along. I think they said, okay, this block of videos will have this style, and then we'll try this, you know, for a different style.
Yeah. And I guess, like, coming off of that, what were you thinking or planning to be, like, your sort of next move? Like, how do you follow up doing...
With them?
You know, or, like, in your own career, you know what I mean? Like, what were your next few steps after, you know, wrapping the videos for that album?
Well, I mean, I did... Because of those videos, I worked with lots of different people.
Yeah.
I did some stuff with KRS-One.
Heard of him. Yeah, heard of him. Legend. You know.
Well, I at the same time at Jive, I was also doing some stuff with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Oh,
like
cool.
Summertime and Too Short. Redman, I did Redman's first video, Time for Some Action, when he's like tied in a chair. EPMD crossover.
Yeah.
I did some Digital Underground. I did some stuff with Shock G, and I did a video called "What's Up with the Love" that Tupac was in.
Are you a hip hop fan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I love all
Like this
stuff.
is like your shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of a dream job.
Yeah,
man.
like this
It's
has
kinda
gotta
unreal.
be-
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. And then
Robert Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, one day you get
and that
the
was
call.
a whole different universe of
Robert
insanity.
fucking Kelly.
I don't even know how we walk into this, but like, you know, even just as the audience, as the unsuspecting audience,
Right.
the idea that there was a like multi-part soap opera / just opera proper
Right.
musical, like just everything about it was like left for a guy that already was like, you know what I mean, was already left.
Did you think when you heard the music for Trapped in a Closet that this was nuts and not going to work? Or did you believe in it?
No, I thought it was amazing.
You thought it was
Yes.
brilliant.
Yeah.
You're my guy. You're my fucking
and
guy.
I know the story is that he wrote it. I mean, you've probably heard Robert talk about it, but you know, he wrote this thing that didn't have
Chorus.
a
right?
chorus.
Yeah.
He goes, I wrote this thing that I kept coming out of me that didn't have a hook. And that ended up being the hook, you know?
Yeah.
But- But I know that the label got it, and Barry Weiss at Jive Records
Yeah.
didn't know what to do. And at that point, Ann Carly, who had originally had connected me to Tribe,
You owe Ann some checks. A
I know.
hug. You know.
yeah, shout out to
Fern.
Ann.
Yeah.
Let's
Shout
go.
out to Ann. Shout out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no, but she at that point she had gone to L.A. to work in film production.
Yeah.
And anyway, Barry called her up and said, "What am I supposed to do with this thing?" And sent it to her. And Jive at the time was thinking of just making a video for for the first chapter,
Wow. What
like
a mistake.
putting the entire budget into like a big high production thing. And Ann heard it, and we heard it, and met with Robert, and the goal was, why don't you take the whole budget and try and make it leaner and more like a soap opera, and do 5 of them.
So
Right.
who came like?
So you did 1 through 5. You did 1
No,
through...
I did 1 through 5, and then we did 6 through 12 and
Okay.
a half, then 12 and a half through 22, and
You did all of them.
23 through 33.
Yeah, I went to the screening for those.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I went to the screening
All
for
right.
those, and Big Man was there at the screening, which was amazing. People,
I can't
there's
even.
this
I don't even
crazy.
Take the
And you know, in the
Please,
age now,
like,
in the age of like visual albums,
Yeah,
absolutely without
I mean,
question.
you got to give some.
come on.
talk your shit. No, fuck
No,
you
I
on the
mean,
podcast. Talk your
Absolutely
shit.
without question.
Okay, in the age of serialized digital
Come on.
episodic
Beyonce.
TV.
Come on.
No, in the age of
Kanye.
Netflix,
In the age of- come on,
binge watching, but in the age
Netflix.
in the age
Call
of
'em out.
lemonade,
Call them out.
I
Lemonade.
need some more lemonade.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we
no,
get
but
more?
top my man off.
Yeah,
Give
can
my
we get some
man-
more?
No,
Yeah.
but
Talk
yeah,
your
I mean,
shit.
that was. I mean, look, he wrote the music. It's the script is the music. So
Man, this is not
It's
the
amazing.
humble podcast. This is a rich motherfucking friend. You could talk your shit. Let me ask you a question.
yeah,
There's a huge stigma. I'm an R. Kelly fan.
Okay.
However, I'm an editor at GQ.
Right.
Did a huge profile on him. I learned
saw
a lot
that.
about him. It was an amazing piece.
I saw that like 40-minute thing. He just
So, yo, have you seen this, Trammell?
it's pretty
So
amazing.
we had him sing his life, and it was supposed to be like a 4-minute video. He sang for 47 minutes. I bullshit you not, and we just published the whole thing.
Uncut.
Uncut.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah.
like, he would sing
It's
and then he'd
amazing.
talk. What?
I mean, he's capable of.
Yes. Outrageously talented. But there's this stigma about him. And as somebody that worked with him so closely and on such a unique project, like, what was the honestly, what was he like?
You know, he's. I mean, from a creative standpoint, I mean,
a
creative
genius.
He's
But what
super
about from a
creative.
vibe standpoint? People ask me about Trammell all the time because he's got a bad reputation, and I tell them,
Always mad reputation.
no, I'm saying, but like, what was the vibe like?
I mean, it's very, when you're in the moment creatively, it's very exciting to work with him because his hunches on so much different stuff. It's like mind-boggling.
Yeah,
But it's a crazy world because the hours are crazy. He's his clock is opposite from, the day begins at
2
late in the day and
Yeah.
goes till 11 in the morning and that sort of thing. So he likes to work in person. So you can't send something from remote,
I mean, I can't imagine that you've, in a career like yours, that you already had like so many insane stripes and have been on so many crazy sets and been around so much talent. Was that not the most daunting project that you've taken on? Like,
What, Trapped?
Yeah, like from a production standpoint.
Trapped
Like-
was pretty complex because it was pretty precise and all the actors had to lip sync exactly properly.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know. I don't know if you guys ever seen his commentary?
yes,
The little commentary.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
It's amazing. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you see it, especially the episode with the little person.
No, exactly.
That is the greatest. If you don't know,
See,
no, you understand how much of a fan I am. Like,
No, that's good because
there's an episode. I think it's like 8 where
episode 8 and 9 are my two
they're
favorite.
god level episodes, bro. And then there is a little person in a cabinet that is cheating, and and the way she finds out
With
is
the cherry pie.
Yes, with the pie. And he's like, no, I don't like cherry. She's like, and there's like a slice missing. He's like, well, who fucking ate the cherry pie? And he opens up the cabinet and there's a little person in it. And I remember that was the point in Trapped in the Closet for me where I was like, oh, this is batshit crazy.
Yeah, reality suspense.
Like this, I was like, okay, I'm down for whatever you do.
Yeah.
For like whatever is about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm down. Like if an alien came out of like whatever.
Well, in terms of him being a compelling personality,
Yeah.
If you bring like film logic to him and say, Rob, like this doesn't make, like you said this before, and this doesn't make sense continuity wise.
Yeah.
He'll just say, no, it does because blah blah blah, and he's kind of right. Or he'll go, it doesn't matter, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that makes it...
but in back to the commentary. In the commentary, right after the little person comes out, when he's sitting there in the commentary, he explains how the reason he had to call him the midget was
because it rhymes.
Because the policeman's the woman in the house who was having the affair with the little person's name is Bridget.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Unavoidable.
He said, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
The thing's got to rhyme, so I had to say midget because
thing's
it's
gotta rhyme.
because
Listen.
he's having an affair with Bridget.
Listen.
Right.
But in truth,
It has to rhyme.
In truth, he named her Bridget.
Because right. No. He could have changed her name.
And back to everyone saying like Trapped in the Closet is this like train wreck that
don't know who
it's
says
hilarious and
But you
Robert
know what,
had
though?
no idea that it was hilarious. Are you kidding me?
Right.
He is hilarious.
Right. So
He wrote it.
That's his
I mean,
amazing-
that's
This is an
give
amazing
him credit
point.
for being really. He's an incredible storyteller and he's really funny.
So you're saying he's in on the joke.
Total. Are you kidding me?
I just
No.
It's one thing to come from us. It's another thing to come from you.
In the commentary, the fact that he says that thing about Bridget and the midget is another like meta layer of absurdity on top of it, the way it already was.
Okay,
Right.
well then that's a great point because there is with R. Kelly this performative layer of absurdity. There's a musical talent that everybody recognizes where he's recorded these hits, especially early in his career, and then, I mean, there's
I want to be your sex dolphin.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Echo video. There's the Christmas album, 12 Nights of Christmas. If you haven't listened to it, you can't imagine there being 12 more Christmas songs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an album full of original Christmas songs
songs,
that
yeah.
are thematically like I'm writing a letter to Mrs. Claus
and wildly
you know what I mean?
inappropriate.
And like, but it also, it's like, it's not. You know what I mean?
Now,
They're
there's a few lines in there where you're like, yo,
but
dog,
I'm just saying, like,
this is Jesus' birthday, and you're going ham.
To me, it's like the test of a songwriter is a Christmas song. Like like I was talking about before, like Christmas in Harlem is like, if you can make a Christmas song that really stands out from like beyond me being this celebrity or having this career, by Christmas song standards, this captures that holiday feeling. He does it like 12 times over, and it's still, you know what I mean? So like going off that point, you having like worked so sort of like closely with him over this period of time, like how much did you see of like what was behind that sort of layer of like, you know what I mean? Like there's Robert Kelly the musician, and then him sort of like as like this jester that like knows his character.
Like how does he present it? Does he say, oh, this is brilliant, or does he say, yo, this is gonna be hilarious? Or is it just like, this is it, this is it?
It's probably this is it.
This is it, yeah. Right.
Like he just knows, pure confidence, this is it.
And you'll say, well, that was really funny, and I'll look at you like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Trapped it's firing on so many levels, because the singing is like, the singing when he sings is beautiful. When he's singing as one of the women or something, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The rhyming.
I mean,
like,
you talk about
I don't think he's gotten credit for the rhyming that takes place like in chapter 9.
Yeah.
In Trapped, when they're in the kitchen.
Yes.
And it's this. I mean, if it was all his voice and him just doing it on like a complex rhyme structure level, it would be amazing.
Right.
But because there's like 6 actors lip syncing him doing all their characters in different voices, it's still rhyming.
Yes.
Which makes it like 3 levels more insane.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the seed of that was like, you know, the Mr. Biggs era.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like the dialogue between, you know what I mean? That's sort of like, you can say the nucleus of what Trapped in the Closet eventually blooms to be.
Right.
And you have to, you know, you talk about Hamilton, like, oh, they told us, you know what I mean?
Talk
like,
your shit.
like,
Lynn.
This is like episodic narrative you can't even just say in like R&B, it's like in R. Kelly. Like, it's like such a specific style. The water drop sound effect. Like there's so many just little nuances.
He puts that in things every once in a while.
That's what I'm saying. Like these are trademark, you know, like
in other
Kellyism.
Okay, so
exactly.
Here's the thing.
It's one of the he'll have like 4, what are they, NPCs or okay, 4 of them lined up, or 5 of them with
Jesus,
and he'll know that water drop is
on like the
17th
one. Yeah. Legend.
Yo,
that is amazing.
No, yeah. I mean,
what was this?
He doesn't want to have to like hit on. He wants them all available.
Right.
He doesn't want to have to hit like, you know, setting
2, right? He so he'll just memorize it.
Mm-hmm.
What was his diet like? Now you've made 40. How many episodes with him?
33.
33
He's
episodes.
written some more.
Jesus Christ! So we would get new Trapped in the Closet. Is that what you're saying?
I think
confirm it for us.
I can't. I'm not authorized. Because it's all up to him when he wants to do
drop
stuff.
them. But you've
been in communication. And he's like, you know, whenever you're ready, Jim.
No.
I know.
I've heard.
Have you heard him?
I've heard some more stuff.
You asked about his diet, which I think is a good question. If you did observe, you know,
like was R. Kelly
what was
like
on set?
Was it craft services? Was he like into that? Was it like a pastry? Did he drink coffee? What was...
He likes coffee. Now and then. I mean,
brown liquor.
He likes McDonald's coffee, actually.
Nice.
He likes McRibs.
Nice.
I knew that. You didn't have to tell us that. We knew R. Kelly would fuck up a McRib. Here's a weird question. So in the GQ profile, which I didn't know this, but you know, he says that he often sleeps in his closet.
Right.
And that is what is comfortable to him. Even if he had a guest, they would sleep in the bed and he would go sleep in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he's like whatever you feel about him is what you feel about him. But as far as like, you know, like a tortured genius and somebody, like you said, has to get this out. But after reading that, Trapped in the Closet had this whole new crazy meaning to me.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I only learned about it through that article.
Through the story.
Yeah.
I mean, did he come to you like, here's my vision for a dozen episodes of like this, you know what I mean? Like where, as far as like what we visually see, we know that the music existed already, the material existed, but
well, I mean, the script is the lyric, right?
Right.
It's pretty well, and he has a pretty clear vision. I'll give you an example of, like, for example, when the thing opens, you know, and we had to scale it back because we were trying to make 5 of them instead of 1 of them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But like when we first met with him, we were in his studio, and he just played it and performed it.
right,
Like
naturally.
and he there was a little space under the like the console, and he it started playing, and he got under the table like he was in the closet.
Right.
Oh wow.
And
Right.
stuff.
Wow.
like really
Yes,
great. And
yes.
and then he goes, okay, and he's narrating it, you know, saying now the camera's flying over the city, you know, and then it goes through the window and goes across the bed, and
Wow.
and goes across the bed, and I'm lying there on the bed, and then it goes through a keyhole,
Right.
and there I am in the closet,
Right.
and I point out, and you go into the closet, and it's me, and I look out of the closet, and it's me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're
We
just
were
like,
like-
yeah, we can do
And then
that.
it comes in 11 o'clock and the sun's gonna
Yeah.
wake me.
But you know, like the opening wasn't a helicopter shot. We did this sort of like cardboard thing over the city, pulling into the window, you know,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
which was fine. And even like with like the driving shots, like we did green screen, like he's driving to get back to his wife and
But you
stuff.
know what? I love that.
No, we
because
did
it
it-
made it feel like a soap opera.
No,
the soap
we
operas
did
are
it
done on the cheap.
We didn't try and, you know, it was kind of like, okay, we could go out with a process trailer and actually shoot a real thing, or we could really be precise with the compositing and try and make it look real, or we could just
Embrace
screw with the
the
camera
just-
and move it
yeah,
around,
yeah.
and nothing makes sense. Like
Yeah,
he'll swing the wheel to the left, and the background
car
goes
won't
the
move.
wrong
Yeah,
way.
right.
And all of a sudden, it's better
Yeah.
than if we had spent like 10 times more
Yeah.
Right.
doing
Just,
it.
like, embrace the kind of camp of it, like the
Yeah.
like the lunacy of it. Yeah.
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 So
Were you guys confident, or were you personally? I imagine Robert was very confident. Were you personally confident in the reaction? Did you feel like this is going to be received well, or what? Did you feel like this
Yeah.
could go either way? I'm proud. I'm so stoked we did it, but like, you know,
we liked it making it, but I don't think we anticipated what was going to happen.
right.
But what did you think? I know you didn't. You had to think. I mean, you knew when you were making whatever. You know, can I kick it? Like, this is cool. People are gonna fuck.
I thought it was cool, but I didn't. I mean, the great thing about the Quest videos is, unlike certain videos and certain genres,
Right.
they're great videos to have made. I mean, I feel so lucky to have worked with those guys, because those videos are, a lot of videos made in 1991 are really corny now.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And those videos
Yeah,
aren't.
They stand up.
They're like
definitely.
classic.
Yeah.
Just because of what they were doing.
And you didn't think. You didn't have a perception of how people were gonna perceive Trapped in the Closet.
I thought it was really cool and different, but
Yeah.
you know, didn't know. But
Yeah.
there was back and forth. Like, I remember when he was talking about a keyhole, I went and got Blue Velvet, that movie by David Lynch.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
When
Very amazing
Holy
movie.
I think Kyle MacLachlan is he's in the closet. And Dennis Hopper's like crazy out in the bedroom.
Trapped
Yeah.
in the Closet is partially inspired by Blue Velvet.
No, it is,
That's
because
insane.
The
Oh my
closet
God.
has a slatted door.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
not a keyhole. And so I said, Rob, look, you know, if it's slatted, we can
Show
actually
you.
see out
Right,
and
right.
see like the movement and stuff. So it would be stuff like that. Like, I'd get little references, and if it made sense, sometimes he'd say no, but he said, okay, that's cool, you know. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you
and there's a lot of ridiculous stuff, like, well, I mean, it's trapped, like when Rufus comes in and he's looking under the bed, but then he looks behind the dresser. Like, the dresser is,
But you know what?
the dresser's against the wall.
Right.
But
it
the
had to
dresser
rhyme.
rhymes
If you-
with Beretta.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That shit is so good. Oh, it's so good.
If it annoys you, you hate it,
You don't get
right?
Right.
But if you revel in it, it's
so good.
incredible.
it. Mm-hmm.
You know?
So listen again.
yeah,
Mind where you are. Okay, this is the motherfucking podcast. We don't lie on here. We keep it real. We answer questions. Sip up. Okay? Now you've made some classics. Can I Kick It? Trapped in a Closet. If there's one video in your very long canon, an amazing canon, a body of work, that you're like, you know what? I would take that one out if I could take it out. I know a podcast I would take out.
It out.
Like, I just wish I didn't make it. I would take, if I had to take one out, this is what I would take out. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. I would take out.
Can't imagine it. Not one.
Yeah. There's not one that you would take out.
Well, there's a lot of videos we haven't talked about that I might take out.
Right.
Give us
I don't have
one.
to talk about them.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
There's not one.
No, that's a good question.
Your least favorite video.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's parts of all this stuff. There's little things that annoy me. Little pieces of things, you know. Yeah.
Do you, I mean, I feel like you're kind of one of the few, maybe this is the wrong thing. This is just my perception.
Okay.
But music videos to me are very youthful, period. I don't care what, like, I just always picture them as consumed by a younger audience.
Right.
You made music videos before the internet. You made music videos at the start of the internet. You make music videos right now. So much of what is determined is like, is this good or not? Is this funny or not? Is this relevant or not? Is because of the internet. Do you make something now, like, you know, the Keke Palmer video, and like get on Twitter? We know you're on Instagram, but like, do you look at that type of response as a creative and take that as real feedback, or is the internet just not even a part of your process?
No, I think it's interesting feedback to see
Yeah.
what. Yeah. In fact, it's a whole. It's pretty cool in that you didn't. You know, you'd have to wait to see what someone said on UMTV Raps or something.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there was no dialogue. There was no discussion about anything.
Right.
You know.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. I know we gotta let you go. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You've known Matthew, Trammell, and I for about 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
If you were doing a video, directing a creative video for this podcast,
Interesting.
give us the premise of the video. Give us the pitch.
Okay, I'll give you the pitch.
God.
Okay, I'd wear the bug eyes.
Man.
Just us doing the podcast with bug eyes.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
A1, amazing. Actually, I hope to God that we can find the exact.
We need to get some money in the
Where'd you
budget
buy those?
to-
Where'd you pick them up? What store were you
It's
in?
like it was probably a store that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
It felt like
It's probably a froyo at this
Or
point.
God.
like existed in like the 50s or something.
Yeah.
But it was something like, it was some like,
I mean, when you saw the announcement that they were putting another record out, I mean, obviously Fife's passing was just like rocked anyone and everyone who was a fan. But seeing them put another record out seems like, you know, like a transcendent moment, like amazing.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
no, it's amazing. I mean,
Happy Tribe Day.
I don't get the sense that this thing's going to come out and suck.
You're a really cool dude.
Yeah, you're the man, Joe. Thank you so much, dude.
Thanks,
Seriously.
bro.
Thank you guys for tuning in this week. This was obviously very special for Mark Anthony Green and I. Brought us back to our youthful days, watching Tribe and R. Kelly videos.
Or yesterday.
Or yesterday. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Definitely. Check out the album. It's out today.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the couch tomorrow watching SNL. And have a good weekend, folks.
Peace.
Peace.
Rich Friend, the Elevated Conversation is a Loudspeaker Network production. Our producer is Matt Raz. Our editor is Tim Einenkel. Our executive producer is Chris Morrow. The views, opinions, and hilarious jokes expressed on this podcast are solely those of the host and guests featured on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Tequila Avion and its affiliates. Please, don't sue us.